Kim McPherson, whose father started this business. And this is a friend of Linda, who we're going to be interviewing. This is my friend Linda. We're going to be interviewing Linda and seeing her beautiful gardens and frozen to a crisp vineyard. I'm here in November, so they had a big freeze. So we're not going to see a lush vineyard, but we're going to see how it all happens. So right now I'm going to take it away and I'm going to introduce you to Kim McPherson, and he's going to tell you all about his wonderful winery. Come over here, Kim, and tell us about what you do and what you've been doing. And you said your father started the business.
Well, my father started the whole wine business in Texas, 1976. He started growing grapes here in 1968.
Wow.
He was a chemistry professor at Texas Tech University. And him and his good buddy, another professor, Bob Reed, started growing grapes in their backyard, and then my dad planted a vineyard. And anyway, they got together and they started Llano Estacado Winery, which is opened up in 1976. Big winery.
Wow. And then how did you get involved? You grew up in it.
Grew up in it. Actually, I have a degree in food science, and so it's a long story, but it finally came down to where I went to school at UC Davis and studied winemaking and worked in Napa at Trefethen Vineyards. And then my dad called all the markers in, and I came back here. I would have stayed out there, but anyway, it was a long story, and then I came back to Texas. I did go back out again to the Central Coast and had my own label out there. And then I came back here for another winery that was built and went bankrupt, but my banker friend that I grew up across the street from, he said, "I will make you an offer you cannot refuse," and I didn't, and so I'm back in Texas.
That's awesome. So it sounds like a lot of your background was influenced by California wineries or vineyards.
Yes, yep.
So do you feel like where do you feel like you got your real education?
Well, if you when you work in Texas, you make wine here. I mean, out there, the grapes are so nice, and it's sort of like a given. How do you foul that up, so to speak? Here you got to work for it, because Mother Nature doesn't just hand you incredible stuff. It's like places in Europe that are very tough, and it's dry and the wind blows and it's hot, and so this is why we grow varieties here that really kind of grow to our land, like Spanish varieties and some Italian varieties, and Southern Rhone varieties that do well here, Viognier, just for an instance. So Cabernet, Merlot, Chardonnay, no, it's a little hot. So we grow what grows to the land.
That's fantastic. So it hasn't been easy. In other words, is that what you're saying?
Well,
to develop
some years are easier than others.
Like this year, you were telling me about this year.
This year, a little tough. It was a little tough on us, but the grapes were incredible. The fruit, the numbers on all the fruit were very good. Last year we had a lot more fruit. This year we didn't have as much fruit, and sometimes that's sort of a two-edged sword where it kind of helps you out on your inventory, and you get rid of inventory, you do, and so it helps. So we're not by any means going bankrupt or anything. No, we have fruit.
Yeah.
So we have 7 growers that we use, and the grapes are all grown. So because we're in downtown Lubbock right here, if people don't know, we're in the old Coca-Cola plant built in 1930.
Fantastic.
So we're an urban winery, but all the grapes are grown about 35 miles south of here in farmland in Terry County, in Brownfield, Texas. So it's where all the fruit is, and we bring it up here.
Let me just interrupt for a second, and we just got 12 people on right now. Can somebody tell me how the sound is on both of our levels? Just want to make sure that you can hear well. we're just about to take, you're going to take us on a little tour of
We're going to take a tour. We'll take a tour.
This is not necessarily what just the average person gets to see, right?
No.
Oh, goody. Let's see. I hear it's great. The sound is great. Okay, so Kim, why don't you take us on a little walking tour of...
Okay. Well, this is our tasting room here. And if you can see this large pillbox window...
Which I love.
This was where they bottled the Coca-Cola, right where you're standing. And I'll show you a picture of a guy watching the bottles go by.
Wow.
And so people would walk down the street here and they could look in the window and they could see the Coca-Cola being bottled. So this right here was the bottling room. And everything was gravity fed. So there's upstairs, they would make the soda and the syrup up here, and then it was gravity fed down here to the bottling machine.
And you bought it right from Coca-Cola?
No. It had changed hands.
Numerous.
2 or 3 times. It was a pretty big wreck. You'll see this building was good because it's solid concrete, but the buildings behind us were, that would have been cheaper for me to tear down, but I worked with the city and the historical thing, and I'm glad we kept them old, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Well, my sister-in-law in California would have shot me because that's what she has a degree, a master's in historical stuff. So anyway, we kept it all. And my wife has a degree in architecture, interior design at Tech when it was a 5-year program. So she did all the design work in here and did a great job. And
also, I understand the landscaping design. She also did.
She helped on that. We had a landscaper from Tech that helped her, and she did a lot of it. Mm-hmm. So, and this is all mainly native stuff. A lot of this stuff we found around town in vacant lots. And
wow.
Now these out here from Terlingua, they're Chisos Mountain agaves. So we go to Terlingua and buy these. Now, once they bloom, they die.
Really?
Yes. So you have to replace these every so often. You go, when do they bloom? We don't know. So this one's probably going to get ready to bloom next year. So they do bloom, and then they're gone.
This is a beautiful place to come in and taste wine.
Thank
I
you.
love all the decor. Look at this gorgeous, when have you ever seen a table like that?
Well, me and my guys made those tables.
That's so cool.
We made those back in the day before this tasting room was done. I'll show you our tasting room in the back when we were first starting out.
And I love your posters.
Well, that's a calendar I bought the year I bought the building in 2007, and I love WPA work and of the national parks, and so I said I'm going to put that up there. And
yeah, for those who don't know what the WPA is, that was a program.
Work program.
Back in the 30s?
Well, the Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roosevelt started it, and these were artists that did all this, and anyway, I kept it because I really liked it.
So these were all in one calendar, and you took them apart and you framed each
framed each one.
Wow.
Now, we've had people that have been to every one of these. We've had people that have only been to one, or, they all look at it. It's amazing. But it's set from the 30s.
Oh, they really put a lot of people to work in their fields and use their talents, and we need something like that now.
Yeah, we need some infrastructure.
We've got a lot of people out of work, and it would be really great to have something like that happen.
And then Thomas runs our tasting room up here in the events.
Right, I got to get this way because Thomas is just a silhouette over there. You have to move that way. So how often do you have tastings in the...
We'll have tastings in here, any day of the week. We shifted our hours with COVID and stuff, so we're about Tuesday through Saturday, and we're 12 to 6 p.m. But we'll have tastings all the way through the weekend. Our busiest days are going to be Thursday through Saturday, and we'll have a few hundred people through the tasting room.
Oh, wow.
So we have a great following from the community, and as well as just people that come and travel through and stuff like that. So a lot of great experiencing new Texas wines.
That's awesome. What's your last name, Thomas?
Turman, Turman.
It's great to meet you. All right, well, so do you want to take us through? Linda's trying to stay out of the way. That's funny, Linda. You're so funny. We're going to see a lot of Linda coming up. We haven't gotten a full schedule yet. Do we go that way
Yeah,
too?
we'll go. Yeah, come right
Okay,
out
cool. I love this surface on the.
here.
And you know what? Because it looks like mountain peaks, it kind of just modifies, or I'm not sure modified.
Wife.
What?
That's the wife did
That's
that.
the wife.
Yep.
I love it when husbands give wives a lot of credit.
You know, and
this is beautiful. Look how they've done the coloring.
Oh yeah, that's
The accent. Oh my goodness! Look
all
at this.
green and
The whole ceiling is green. Oh, I love that.
yeah, that's her doing. Now, the walls and everything. There was a young lady that was a wife of a friend of mine, and you know how friends go, "Hey, my wife does this," and you go, "Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
great." Well, she came in here and she was unbelievable.
Wow.
So she did all this stuff on the wall, and Sylvia helped her. They were with the colors, and so anyway, she did a great job on the painting and the texture and everything. Now my wife and her bricklayer buddy designed the fountain, and if you can see, there's Coke bottles in it we found when digging foundation and doing concrete work, we'd find empty Coke bottles buried. So we use this fountain in events, and it's made from brick from the streets and brick from here, and sort of a kind of a hodgepodgey thing, but people really like it. So
And
this is Thomas's. See, I'd love to have barrels in here, but this thing makes more money as an event center.
It does?
Oh yeah, he has weddings and stuff all the time.
Oh, you have weddings in here?
Yeah, so my barrel warehouse is down the street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that fountain flows water and it's
yeah.
beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what when you don't have an event in here, are you making wine in here?
No. We'll go to the winery.
Okay. Well, I wanted to look at the surface over here because this is what you were talking about.
Yeah, and see, she covered up, there was about 4 different brick in there, and they covered it all up and made it look, because they had opened some doors up and done, and so.
So they actually, we were talking about this last night at Finn's restaurant. They actually kept the original thing and showed the brick underneath, but in your case, they actually had this brick and then they put this here to look like.
Well, see, there was cinder block in here in the windows and different brick where they had patched, and so we just covered that up and made it where it looked like an old thing, and it really worked out good.
It's beautiful. And you just spray painted all of the industrial stuff on the top green, which I think,
Well, now we put,
grapes.
my wife, she didn't want foam up there, and I said, yeah, Sylvia, we got to have the foam just for sound.
Right.
Because this thing was like a chamber of.
Absolutely.
And so I say people never really look up, and they don't. So that foam's probably 8 inches thick, and we just sprayed it, and it helps greatly with the sound.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay, after you.
And then we have, we'll go out here to our courtyard here. We'll come back through there.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. We're going back?
Yeah, we're going to go to the winery.
Oh, okay. Right.
We're going to go over here into the bowels of the system here, the winery.
Oh, goody. And while we're walking back there, why don't you tell us about how you got connected with Linda and helped her develop her small vineyard?
Well, I got connected through Linda with her brother, Sam. I've known Sam for years and years. And, but Linda, she's got one of the most expensive vineyards in the county. It's like that vineyard in Beverly Hills, so to speak, but she got cuttings from my dad's vineyard, Sangiovese, and she planted it in her backyard, and she has about 1/3 of an acre. Planted.
Right.
And she gets, depending on the year, anywhere from 500 to 1,500 pounds off of it, and then we put it in with, and so
I posted it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people noticed, but I did.
Well, here's the wall that we had pictures from the city and Coca-Cola that they found. This guy's back is to that window in there.
Oh, wow.
And his name is Red Chilcott. That's what I found out. And this room is this room here.
So that's what you would have seen if you'd looked
Yeah,
in
when
the
you're
window.
walking down the street, you would have seen him right there, and this guy right here. And in 1952, they remodeled this building where it looked like this, where they looked like this. And they uncovered a dagger from one of Coronado's campsites. And that dagger is at the museum at Texas Tech. So it was from 1541, I think. Yep. Really
Wow.
cool looking dagger. So they let me take a picture of that.
I'd hate to be stabbed by that. It's pretty jagged. That might have been just decomposed,
Yeah,
being
they
buried.
found that right in here, right up in there.
Uh-huh. Wow.
So and then we have,
Wait, and here on the end we have,
well, that's my dad. And
he started winemaking in
he
Texas?
started winemaking in Texas Tech. Yeah, he was a professor and he had a lab. Texas Tech actually gave him and Bob a lab to study winemaking in Texas.
Wow. Was it just a radical idea at the
Oh, it
time?
was very radical, very
I mean,
radical.
Did people just go, wait, this is just, we
Now
just
they-
do oil
yeah,
here and,
no,
and
they can't,
agriculture?
yeah. And my dad had to build a winery in what they call a wet precinct because Lubbock was dry.
Yes.
If you wanted beer or wine or liquor, you had to go out of the city limits to get it. Now that's
to
all
drink
changed.
it, you mean?
Yeah, no, how to buy it.
To buy it, yeah.
And
that's
so
right.
to build a winery, it had to be in a wet precinct.
Okay.
And it's way out, it's 15 miles from here in Llano Estacado. And he built it out of brick because he said people are going to shoot at it. And they did.
They did.
Oh yeah. And so now it's huge out there. It's a big facility now.
Wow. Fantastic.
And my mother still,
I grew up in a dry county, by the way.
so you know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. In Tennessee.
Well, Jack Daniels is in one of those kind of things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I've been by there.
So this is my mother. She is a professor of nutrition at Texas Tech. And she was instrumental in starting the hotel and restaurant management thing at Tech. Kind of got dumped in her lap, but she did a great job. And here's Bob. Here's my dad's buddy, Bob Reed. Bob taught turf grass management at Tech.
Turf grass management.
And he
Which
was into
probably started out pretty organic, and then it became very, very modified and chemical and.
He did golf course grasses and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that was him.
Wow.
Now he's from Pennsylvania. So now we'll go over here into the winery.
Employees only.
Well, that's for the feds.
Ooh.
So
Wow. Ooh, it smells nice in here.
see, we don't notice the smell much anymore. It's sort of,
It's mild. It's very subtle. Tell me what happens in one of these tanks.
well, we ferment in them.
Okay.
Some of them are full, some of them are not. We make our reds mainly over here. Now we do make reds over in these tanks too, then we, after we make the wine, then we store it till we bottle it, or we bring down. We're getting ready to bring down a bunch of barrels because we're going to take stuff out of barrels and barrel up some reds that we've made this
Do
year.
you call these big tanks barrels?
They're tanks. They're
These
not
are
vats.
tanks. Where are the barrels?
The barrels are in my barrel warehouse.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I have
That's okay.
350 barrels in a warehouse down the street. We're on 16th. It's on 23rd Street.
Okay.
And it's an old brick building, and we've completely foamed the walls and the ceiling, so it's like a cave. And that's where we keep our barrels. Year round, it stays probably 58 degrees.
Wow.
I mean, it's
And
a
it gets
cave.
100. How hot does it get here? 110?
Oh yeah. Well, because of climate change, yes.
Right.
Back in the day, no, it didn't.
When
You're
your father
3,500 feet up here.
What's that?
You're 3,500 feet up elevation.
right.
So
That helps a little,
it
right?
helps a lot. And we're dry, so the heat is dry, but generally it drops low at night. I mean, we have they call it a diurnal shift. So it may be 95, 98 during the day, but it'll go down to like 62, 63 at night. So that's a good thing for grapes.
Oh yeah.
So to build up sugar and acid.
Wow. Yeah.
And everything here is machine picked. With very little hand picking, but machine picked by these pickers are they're $500,000.
Wow.
They clean the fruit in the vineyard. They do everything now.
Wow.
They're made in France and they're made in Germany. So anyway.
We have someone watching from England.
Oh,
Her name is
really?
Nana. Yes, she just tuned in, or she's been watching. And so
We just got these tanks in this year. These are our little Italian tanks. They were custom made for here.
wow. Just because you ran out of space.
I ran
here.
out of space and I needed to go up.
That's cool.
So we really like these little tanks. I thought I'd try them out, and we do our own stainless welding and everything here.
Stainless welding.
Yeah,
That sounds
everything
so
you
cool.
see stainless, because we don't like to paint stuff.
No, no. You want to keep it clean.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then we don't put. These are the only tanks that we have on stands.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Everything else is on a pad because that's the way we keep it clean.
Concrete pad. Everything's concrete. Wow. So when would you see a lot of activity going on in here?
Oh, probably starting in mid-August to the end of September.
So all of this sits here most of the year, and then you have this flurry of activity
That flurry of activity.
after the harvest.
Well, no, we're going to start bottling. We have been bottling some,
Oh, okay.
but we're going to start bottling probably in January and February.
Out of
So-
what something, out of
Out
what
of
is in
stuff we
something's
made
tank?
this year
Oh.
and stuff we have in barrels.
Okay.
Don't look over here. Oh.
Don't look that way.
Well, no, it's I have an Airbnb for my winery, and we're just now remodeling it. And this is all the furniture that my wife.
Oh, fantastic. So wine aficionados would love to go to an
Airbnb.
wine. And where is that located?
It's in Tech Terrace over there by where I live. Actually, it's across the street from me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
In Lubbock?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's an
cool.
old Austin stone house. It's unbelievable. My wife did an incredible job.
And when would that be ready for rental?
Well, probably in a month or 6 weeks, I hope.
Will that be on VRBO?
Yes, it will be. It's going to
Okay.
be on. Thomas is going to handle that.
Okay, cool. Thomas is he does a
Yes.
lot of jobs.
Now you'll notice a lot of artwork. Well, there's some of the doors for it.
Oh, wow. I just love Southwestern and Western architecture.
Yeah, that's some of the doors that we haven't put in yet on one of the. Well, it's an apartment that's with that building too.
And back here?
That's our bottling room. I'll show you that.
Oh, okay.
This is an office that we built, and then my little girl that was in there, she moved to Indiana for right now because her husband's with Lilly Pharmaceuticals,
Oh, okay.
but they're going to be moving back at some point. But it's an office that we have, and then all the artwork. This is our original tasting room,
Okay.
and so we have a stove here that we light up in the winter because it gets cold back here.
Oh, nice.
And this was a great tasting room, and people loved it, but that one's a little nicer.
Well, it's so cool with the whole design of the window and the
And
history
then,
of
this is
Coca-Cola.
our bottling room, and this is a real. This is an incredible. You don't see a lot of. You'll see lines like this in California. This is probably one of the
Just
bigger
walk
lines.
Walk over there and tell me what happens.
Well, we do a lot of screw caps because I like screw caps. Keeps the wine fresher, but we do cork too. So we dump the glass, it goes through, all the glass is blown out with nitrogen, and the line is nitrogen till it gets to the filler. All the blue lines are nitrogen, so everything along this line is nitrogen blanketed.
I don't know what that means.
Well, the bottles come down here, they're empty, they hit the filler,
So you,
and by the time they get to the corker, all this has got nitrogen in a tunnel.
so just start one. very simple for the person who doesn't.
Well,
has
we
never seen-
dump empty glass right
all the
here. The
bottles-
glass comes on pallets. Now the glass comes out of different places: Mexico, Oklahoma, California. Depends on the availability of glass.
Yeah.
They dump it here. It goes down this line, and then I could turn all this on.
Ooh, and what would happen if you did?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Then don't.
I mean, we don't. And it goes through here, and it's blown out. The glass is blown out, even though it's sterile. You may have a little cardboard dust. Mm-hmm. You blow it out, and then it comes down here to the filler. And this line, when we're running, we're doing about 50 bottles a minute.
A minute?
Yeah.
Wow. That means you're feeding a lot of bottles in here very quickly. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, filler, everything is sterile bottled.
What happens on that white spiral there?
Well, that's how they're fed into the machine.
The bottles?
Yeah.
They actually spin across it?
Well, they spin down it.
Oh, it pushes them down.
Pushes them down.
Oh, I see.
Now then you come over here to this corker. Now this is a 3-headed corker. So this thing will really fly. See, we have it bypassed because we're screw capping.
Oh. And how do you screw cap it
Well,
automatically?
Right over here to the old Alpha 110.
Are people preferring screw caps?
Women prefer screw caps a lot
I bet.
because they can
Open it.
open it and put it back. I kind of like screw caps too because that's what I do.
Well, cork is a non-renewable.
Well, now cork is you can
Recycle it,
Yeah.
right? But it's a non-renewable. I mean, you use it once, and
Yes,
then you
yeah.
can recycle it into something
Yeah,
else.
right.
But
They'll make flooring out of it or whatever.
right.
Now, we use a cork that's developed in France called a Diam. And it's it's amazing. It's real cork.
It is.
And Gallo owns the rights to it in America, I think. But this cork they come in different various degrees of guarantees. Mm-hmm. They have a Diam 10, which is guaranteed 10 years.
Wow.
And they take all the scraps from cork manufacturers and the bark from cork trees, which they don't use, and they grind this stuff up. Because these corks they're guaranteed to have no TCA, which is the corkiness that you'd find in a wine. The wine was corked. Mm-hmm. You don't find it in Diam.
Okay.
But it looks like sawdust, and they use vegetable gum to put this thing together. But they take everything out of that cork. It's a process, it's unbelievable. So we've been using these corks for years, and they're a real cork. Mm-hmm. But they don't look like your normal everyday cork.
But it's a recycled product.
It's a recycled product.
That's
so to speak.
fantastic.
So
Wow.
here's the screw caps.
Someone just wrote and said that they skin the trees to make the cork.
Takes 40 years for a tree to start producing enough bark to make a cork.
And then you skin it and it's gone?
No,
Oh.
no, they take strips out of it. You can't take all the,
You kill it.
you'd kill it.
Okay.
So they take strips off of them, and that grows back. The next year they take this strip, and they take that bark, and it's probably it's 2 inches or more thick, and they stamp the corks out of that. Now what's left of that is what Dion buys, and they grind all this stuff up, and it's an amazing cork.
Well, there's probably more left over because they have to stamp it out. There's probably more left over.
There's a
than
lot
there
of
was
left over. And then some of the corks they stamp out, they may not fit the grade.
And
Okay.
they get
They
into
get
that
thrown
stream.
back in, and they go from there.
Wow. How do you foresee at some point just people not using the original cork anymore?
Cork trees have taken a real big hit in Spain and Portugal, and and they're blaming a lot of it on climate and the pollution in Europe.
Wow.
They've declined,
Yeah.
and it's been tough. So
And they're not declining because they're taking the cork off.
no,
Yeah,
no,
they're just not growing.
no.
Wow.
And
So
so
it may be-
it's a a double-edged sword there too. I mean, the classic wine bottle, everybody likes that pop, And now there's plastic corks. A lot of people have those. I don't use them, but some people do. But cork is a neat thing. But screw caps, they've done a lot of studies on screw caps, and it will keep the wine fresher.
Wow.
Over,
You mean after it's been opened?
No, before it's open.
Oh, really?
Willamette Valley in Oregon did a 12-year study on screw caps, and they found that the screw cap over the cork was actually fresher.
Wow.
But then, you have the cork that the wine needs to be breathing. There's a lot of, studies and theories and people's opinions, but screw caps are here to stay.
That's
You go to a lot of wine shops, they're screw cap.
wow.
This is a spinner. Now this what puts that top on the bottle that's corked, the capsule, and it runs through here. Then it comes over here to your labeler.
Well, you're not using this as much now, then, are you?
Well,
I mean, it
no.
skips that process.
Skips that process.
You can't skip this process.
No, this
you gotta
is the
have your
labeler.
label.
Yeah, and this is a pressure sensitive labeler.
A what? Oh,
Pressure sensitive. So what you're talking about is that your labels come on a roll like this. And this thing will do 80 bottles a minute, so we slow it down.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it comes off like that and peels off and goes on the bottle.
Can I see it?
Now that's another winery we do stuff for.
How many wineries?
Here, let's get you a real label from us.
Okay. How many different people do you make wine for?
Probably 6 different other wineries.
And obviously yours is your own grapes and wine
Yeah.
are probably the largest.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
These are just smaller
Well,
producers.
actually, my little brother, his owner in California, built a winery down near Fredericksburg, Texas, in the Hill Country, in Johnson City. It's called Carter Creek, and he wanted Texas wine, so we make wine for that.
Wow.
Because he doesn't actually have a winery there yet.
Okay.
But anyway, we make wine
Wait,
for
when
that.
did he open down there? I'm just considering going to Fredericksburg.
Oh, he's open.
Whoops.
Oh. I'm not going to take that. I can't do that, Crockett. He's my plumber.
Oh, okay.
He's open.
Plumbers are essential, I would
I
imagine.
know. They're open now. They got 52 bungalows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is for
It's
vacation?
a resort and kind of a spa. He's got a brewery, winery, right on 290.
Wow, fantastic. It's called Carter
Creek.
Creek.
Jim
Okay.
Carter.
Awesome. Awesome.
So
then we're at the end of the process, and it must have to come off of here pretty
well,
quickly.
it comes off here, and we have 2 people packing, and then it's sealed and then palletized, and then we go to a bonded warehouse. There's about 7 wineries in this big bonded warehouse. It's temperature controlled, and that's where our wines are shipped out of.
Wow. And 7 wineries in the area? Or
There's 7 wineries in our area. It's not like down in the Hill Country. On 290, I think there's 60 wineries.
wow.
There's over 400 wineries in Texas.
Wow. How does that compare to California?
Oh, well, we're small.
Yeah.
There's 400 wineries just in Napa.
Okay. Well, the fires have really
I
decimated
know.
a lot of.
They have. They're going to have a few problems this year, from what my daughter has told me.
Yeah.
But some of them lucked out and got the fruit in, and then we'll just see.
When does the fruit usually come in?
Here? Well, we start mid-August, maybe the end of August. Tempranillos, because it's called the early grape in Spain.
So once you get set up in a winery, in a vineyard, what is your biggest variable? Just the weather?
Weather. Spring frost, and then we have hail.
Oh, yeah.
It's spring frost and hail that's worldwide.
Yeah.
Burgundy has been hit with hail, and they are blaming that on climate change too, and I believe it. They've been hit with hail quite a bit. And parts of Bordeaux, it seems like everybody, they're getting weather-related problems.
How would you describe I just remember over the last 2 decades, just the incredible surge of people interested in drinking wine. as opposed, I guess, to cocktails or whatever. I mean, but wine drinking just became, even when I was in New York, I've been out in California 32 years, but wine became popular.
Well, now the youth have pushed that. Millennials,
Oh, they did.
they have pushed a little bit of that. And the baby boomers have pushed that up too. Because the older guys in their 80s and 90s, they've been drinking wine a long time, but now, yeah, and everybody's, you know, rosés have taken, I mean, they're unbelievable. Rosés are, I'm so happy because I was making rosé here and you could leave it outside the door and they wouldn't steal it. So rosés now are, you know, we went from 200 cases to 1,500 cases a year of rosé.
Wow.
Because I'm not a big producer. I mean, we probably do 9,000 or 10,000 cases a year of McPherson.
Does that include your other smaller people?
No,
That's just you.
That's just us.
Okay. Wow.
So,
Is there anything else here that we should see while you're here? While I'm here?
well, we have our lab over there. It's our
yeah,
office.
let's check that out.
You got to come over this way.
Oh, that's right.
A very simple lab, but you know, you don't need an elaborate lab with sort of a boutique winery.
You do need a lab because
Oh, you
have to
need a
test.
lab. And then you've got Spencer in here. Say hello, Spencer, to the people.
Hi, Spencer.
Hello.
Wait, I can't see you. Move your hand,
Well,
Ken.
Here, I've
Will
got
the door stay open?
No, I'll prop it open with the heater.
A high-tech way of keeping it open.
Yeah.
What do you do, Spencer? I'm going to stay
He's
back
the,
a little
I'm
bit.
just the assistant winemaker here.
Oh, I see.
Currently looking over blends and
Oh, wait, you
making
know,
sure.
You're going to have to tell me what he does because he has a microphone, I have a microphone. We're not going to hear you that
He
well.
really, he's the head, well, he does a lot of, I've been regulated down to administrative work. He does a lot of the
Here, Kim,
winemaking.
get out of the way. We know what we're doing. So you have to test wine batches to see if it has a certain.
We test for alcohol, acid, pH, sugars, VA, which is, you don't want VA, that's volatile acidity.
Oh,
That's like vinegar, you don't want that.
no, that doesn't.
But we do all that anyway, just for our own records. That's basically about it. I mean, it's not rocket science.
But batch by batch.
Batch by batch, wine by wine. You know, whenever we bottle, you know, we have a blend. You know, we do the. You know, you have to have everything done for the government.
Right.
So the alcohol is very important. And if you have a blend, the percentages are very important because if you put that on the label, you better be telling the truth.
Percentages of alcohol.
Yes, that's
Okay.
big with the feds.
Yeah, I bet.
That's how they make their money.
I see. How do they make their money?
Well, they make their money off the how much wine you produce and the alcohol.
Okay.
The higher the alcohol, the more money they make.
The more money the Fed makes?
Yeah,
Oh,
it jumps from you know, I don't know, 17 cents a gallon to some of it to $2 a gallon. I don't know the numbers anymore, but it jumps up there. So yeah, they make their money.
so back when we had, what was it called when we couldn't sell alcohol?
Oh, when it was
It was
dry, yeah,
Prohibition?
yeah.
So when we had prohibition, I guess the regulators finally said, we can't stop this, so let's let them do it, but we'll make money off of it.
Oh yes,
Is that how it works?
and the state makes money too.
Yeah, I'm sure they're happy with you.
We pay probably a little over 50 cents a gallon in liquor taxes to the state and the feds, which is not much. I mean, you divide that, it's probably 4 cents a bottle. So, you know, yeah, that's how they do it.
What are the ranges of alcohol content in the wines?
Well, really nice, like a European wine, depending on the wine, let's just say a Bordeaux or a Burgundy, probably 13.5 to, you know, 13.8 alcohol. You'll see some above 14 every now and then, but generally they like to keep it that, you know, we like to keep it below 14 too. I think the wines age and taste better. In California, they were on a kick to get 15, 16% alcohol and stuff. But
Can you tell me about sulfites?
oh yeah, we measure for sulfites too. Do we use SO2? Yes, we do, but we're very judicious about it because if your wines are very clean and your winery's clean and your grapes are of quality, you don't use as much. And so we try to keep it down to a bare minimum. Now, we do make a natural wine, Viognier, that we don't do anything with.
But grapes have a natural.
They will make, the yeast will produce anywhere from 4 to 10 parts per million SO2 too when they're fermenting. So
Sulfites is SO2?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And you didn't
see.
even have to add any.
Right, I didn't
Yeah.
understand how it worked. Okay, and then you're saying some add a lot more because they're compensating for the
Quality.
taste?
Yes.
Quality, okay.
You know, not watching your P's and Q's, you know. We keep all of our wines that are in a tank, we keep them under argon.
That's a gas, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you mean under argon?
Well, if the tank has any airspace, it's argon.
Okay. And what does
so-
that do?
Well, if we're not ready to bottle it, it just keeps it fresh.
Okay.
And you don't have any mold growth or anything like that on it.
How often, how long would you say you have wine sitting in a tank?
Well, we have time. Let's see, probably 6 months, sometimes 7 months. You know, a wine goes through a stage where, you know, Americans are not like Europeans where they, if a wine may be a little bit cloudy in America, they go, oh, something's wrong with the wine. No, not really. Maybe they just didn't fine it. We have to fine our wines, so to speak.
Fine.
Yeah, we fine them with we take the proteins out of them with bentonite, which is done worldwide, and you have to cold stabilize your wines here in America, because if you don't, then you get those crystals, and it looks like glass, but it's just cream of tartar.
Oh.
And that's a main thing in wine because tartaric acid is the main grape acid.
Oh.
So it combines with potassium, and you get potassium bitartrates, which is cream of tartar. And so we have to cold stable the wines too, so that you have to bring them down to 30 degrees for 3 or 4 weeks or a month, so it gets all that out. So that in America, if the wine is very pure and clean and beautiful. In Europe, they don't care about tartrates so much.
Oh, I see.
And I've had wines with tartrates in them and back east, and these people, it doesn't bother them.
Yeah.
They call them wine diamonds.
But you try to.
Well, we try to take them out because you really want to use a little bentonite, because if the guy buys a bottle of wine or the woman buys a bottle of wine and she puts it in her hot car and she forgets about it for 3 or 4 hours, it'll make it go cloudy. The proteins will denature and they come out with heat, and so you take those out. That's called heat stability. And that's basically about all we do.
Someone mentioned something about racking wine.
You rack the wine. Well, now racking wines are important because you get them off the yeast lees, but sometimes we like to leave our wines on the yeast, and we stir that tank up. And it gives the wine a more creamy texture. And it's called lees aging. And you can do this in barrels or tanks, and we might do this for 6, do you do any lees aging? Yeah, all the time for maybe 6 months. We have wines in there now on the lees. We'll just stir it up every now and then.
Roll it?
Yeah, we put a mixer in there, and it just flips the tank, and then the yeast settle back down again, but then it gives this texture to the wine.
Oh, this is when the wine is in the tank.
Right.
Okay. I was thinking that they were talking about.
Well, no, racking. Yeah, we'll rack that off, and then we will filter that wine.
Oh, I
You
see.
take that, racking is taking it off the heavy sediment.
Well, I thought that was referring to, how when you buy wine and you take it home, and some people keep the red
Rack.
wine on a rack.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah,
That's-
you rack with that. When you say racking to a winemaker, oh yeah, did you rack that wine? Yeah, we did. And you took it off the sediment,
Yeah.
and then
But when you take it home as a consumer,
you
and
can rack that in your rack, put it in your rack.
And then are you supposed to turn it, or are you supposed
No.
to? Is it just red wine, or is it all wine that people?
Well, everybody you know, has various ways of storing their wine. Some
Yeah.
elaborate, very expensive caves under their house. And
I had a
stuff.
neighbor in Pacific Palisades, and he had an app on his phone that told him about the temperature
And the humidity.
of his wine
Cellar.
cellar. Yeah.
Oh, now he's a collector.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Me, I just drink.
You just drink
Everybody thinks, Kim, you must have a huge collection. No, not really.
No, it gets
No.
drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend that I went to Davis with, and he had because he was a vineyard manager out in Napa, and he had incredible collection because vineyard guys trade, you know. And he had all these reserve cabs, and he'd go, let's drink that. And I go, you don't want to save that? And he goes, no. He goes, Kim, 2 hours later, it's in the toilet.
Oh, that reminds me. No, I'm not going to say that. It reminds me of a movie that won some Academy Awards. A friend of mine was in it, and it was an exchange in front of a toilet, but they were drinking beer, you know. And he said we just rent it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and he was right. You know, he said, I don't save this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
you know,
Drink
it.
Yeah, drink it. Well, tell me about your relationship with Linda. Did she come to you and say, I've always wanted to do this? And
Oh, yeah, she always wanted this vineyard. And I go, Linda, do you know how much work? This is a lot of work. I tell her husband, Paul, I said, you get an incredible tax right over here. Because her vines are like numbered and named. I mean, it's like a little, I guess you've seen it.
I've just had a very peripheral, very quick view. We haven't done the video there yet at all.
Okay, and
So she has numbered and
well,
named.
I don't know. That's what I say. I tease her about it.
Okay.
But she got cuttings from my dad.
Is your
And
dad still alive? No?
No,
No.
he died 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
He was 95. His ticker gave out. She got all these cuttings, and she planted them in her backyard. Because when you do a cutting, they're just sticks.
Yeah.
And she planted them like this far apart.
Sticks with roots though, right?
No, they have no roots.
You can just stick a vine stick into the ground,
dirt.
a stem
So she rooted them
in the ground?
in the ground at her place. And then, like right now, when they went dormant, she just left them there. Then, like in March, she dug all those up. Actually, I think we did that for her out at my dad's vineyard. She dug them up. They have roots. And then she planted them and then
Wow.
trained them up.
Oh, so
So she has an Antinori clone from Italy of Sangiovese.
you say that slower. Some kind of a clone.
Clone, the Antinori clone.
Antinori clone.
One of the biggest and most prestigious Sangiovese producers in Italy.
Wow. And
The family's, 6 or 7 years, 100 years old making wine.
wow. And somehow your father had this strain, or?
Well, no, he bought this out of California nursery.
Oh, okay. And she got it from him.
Yeah.
And so obviously you don't have to lay out your whole vineyard when you first do that. You can just stick it in good soil and
You got to get them rooted.
over the winter,
Now,
or
yeah, well, they're over the spring, summer, and then fall.
oh,
And then in the spring, you dig them up and they're rooted.
oh, okay.
Now,
so
most guys, when
okay.
they plant a vineyard here, they're already rooted out of nurseries. And most of the guys get their stuff out of Washington State
oh,
because the area is very similar here to eastern Washington. And so they buy truckloads of vines and they plant them in their vineyard.
okay,
But their vineyard's set up.
right,
They've got wires
sure,
because when a vine is watered and it goes, it will grow
fast.
very fast.
So you got to have. Did she have her wires
Yeah,
set
she
up
had
by
her
the
wires
time?
and stakes up, and those things come up the stake, and you tie them, and there you go. Now she didn't. You may not get a crop off of it the first year.
Right, of course, yeah.
Probably the second year you'll get anywhere from 25 to 50% crop.
Wow.
Yeah,
Unless you have a major weather event.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. Well, I thought it tasted great.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
our
very
Sangiovese.
smooth.
Yeah,
It's very smooth.
that's our flagship red here is our Sangiovese. That's what I'm known for,
Okay.
and our Rhone stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I love. I'm not an aficionado, so.
Well, you know what you
really
like.
good. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people go, well, do you have a Chardonnay? And I go, no, you need to go to Sonoma for that. Or Central Coast. Or France, because...
Yeah. What else should I be asking you that I don't know to ask you? What else is interesting about the wine business?
Well, you know, everybody goes, gosh, I'd like to have your job. And you go, I don't know. You may not. You know, it's always said that you make a small fortune in the wine business. You start out with a large fortune, you know.
And then you go to a small fortune.
You know, it was so funny when I was working at Trefethen in Napa back in the 70s. You know, it was like millionaires were coming in there and building wineries. Now billionaires are coming in and buying out the millionaires.
Wow.
You know, and yeah, it's a... You know, Napa is if I was doing Cabernet, I think that's one of the areas that has the best Cabernet in the nation, and I think parts of the world.
They just have the best weather for it.
They have the best weather for it.
Wow,
Yeah.
Cabernet. Well, it started somewhere else because they
Well,
were
it's
making wine
mainly in
before,
Bordeaux, yeah, in France.
They were making wine before the U.S. was settled, right?
Right. And, you know, Chardonnay, there's areas in California, and now Oregon's getting into the Chardonnay thing, which they can do that, I think, very nicely up there because it's cool. But, you know, people go, you want to grow Pinot Noir here? No, it doesn't work here. And so you have to realize that. Sometimes I wish we had French wine laws in the United States.
Yeah.
And they go, what's that? Well, you wouldn't be growing Tempranillo in Oregon, so to speak.
Right.
You're going to grow Pinot Noir or Chardonnay or Pinot Gris.
Yeah.
You know, and over here we wouldn't be growing Cabernet, we'd be growing Tempranillo by law. So, you know, this is how it's set up. That's why you don't see, you go to Burgundy, do you see them growing Viognier there? No, because they can't.
Yeah.
But do you go down to the Rhone, do you see them growing Chardonnay? No, because they can't.
Right.
And that's what I like about that.
Yeah, you do what works in the high plains of desert.
That's it.
The high plains desert.
It would help, I think, every region to become, you know, in the United States, you could have, you know, you have Oregon up there for Pinot Noirs and, you know, and then, I don't know. That's just my opinion, but.
You think you could grow wine almost anywhere?
They grow wine everywhere.
You know, Tennessee just developed a wine tour.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not just. It was a few years ago. And a friend of mine, he had always wanted to have a little vineyard. And that I grew up with him. And he quit his job in his 50s and he started growing
That's
wine.
what happens.
And he has a tasting room. And so he's on the wine tour. But and he took me into his distiller. Wait, what is it?
The vineyard,
winery.
the tank room?
Yeah, he took me into the tank room. It's about, I'd say a sixth the size of yours, or maybe smaller. The tanks were much smaller and not that many.
No, that's okay.
But you know, he's enjoying it, and you know, when you have a wine tour, especially in a rural area, it brings a lot of people in.
Oh, it does.
You know,
and that's what Fredericksburg is famous for. You know, it's second behind Napa.
Oh wow.
In tourists visiting a wine area.
Oh wow.
And that's why I have a winery down there too with two other guys.
Oh.
We built a winery together called 4.0 Cellars, and it's not really a winery, so to speak, but it is a winery to the feds. But we're on the 290 trail there, and we sell a lot more wine than I can sell out of Lubbock, Texas in the tasting room.
Oh my goodness.
And my other partners are in that thing. One of them's in Comanche, Texas, and that's about as, you know, maybe 6,000 people. And the other one's below Fort Worth, and so it just paid off for us to have a presence where all the tourists are.
Right.
And so that's really helped us out to get our name out there and everything.
Right. Well, first you've got to get a tour, start
Yes.
a tour. And then you get the tourists, and then you jump on the bandwagon after.
Right.
You know. Yeah, that's really changed Middle Tennessee.
But what we like to concentrate on here are, like I said, the varieties that really work here.
Right.
And I think that's what we've become famous for. And I think, I was, like I told you, I was nominated semifinalist twice for James Beard Award. I think it's because what we're trying to do with Texas wines to get them out into other parts of the country. And it's paid off for me. It was a struggle because people would laugh, but when you hear the quality that we have, they do now know that.
Can you just say your award one more time? Because we only talked to that. We didn't talk about that
Well,
on the live stream.
I didn't win it, but I was a semifinalist twice for the James Beard Award. Now everybody tells me, God, you were just nominated. That's unbelievable. I go, okay, so it is an honor even to be nominated for what we're trying to do here in Texas. You know, we're not big, but what we do is I like to think we give Texas wines the pricing. We're friend of the working man is what I like to say. And the varieties that we do here, I think that we excel there.
That's fantastic. Well, why don't we go back out to the front and
Let's drink
and do a little
wine.
sign out. Yeah. Hey, let's go back to the tasting room
Okay.
and have a taste. How does that sound?
That would be good.
We're coming through. I'm going to let you lead.
See all this artwork. One of these artists I hadn't seen in 6 years. So, and then some of this art me and my guys did, like this art over here. I didn't do the little blue one. My nephew did that one, but this other artwork, that's our Mark Rothko phase.
Yes.
Then I got some in Taos from a woman that she was on the art trail over there one day, and I went over there and it was, God, we bought a bunch of paintings from.
Well, the most beautiful thing I think about the Southwestern art is the color. You know, the rich, and it so mirrors the nature, you know, with the greens and the blues and the rust-colored mountains. And
My wife bought me that warthog on an art trail here in town from us.
I can't really see that well.
Yeah,
it's a warthog? Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good luck.
Good luck?
Yeah,
We all need that,
yeah.
tell you.
Now I own this piece, this art.
What's that?
I own this art. In my wife's place, I have art over there that's on loan. I like to call it on loan.
Well, the whole place is artistic, and that's to credit your wife.
Yeah, that wall came down when we took the roof off this building because it was rotten wood. And she said, no, we're just going to keep it.
I love it. But then you put in metal to reinforce everything.
Had
so
to,
that's-
code.
Yeah. At least you have code. I looked at some.
Oh, I wanted to take you out to our courtyard
Oh, yeah.
real quick.
Sure.
This is where Thomas has, he has patio nights during the summer. We had to cut it out because of COVID, but generally this place is, he still has the furniture out here because it's still warm right now and we can still use it, but this is our patio and the fountain works. And
Oh, lovely. And what do you do out here? Just taste wine or?
yeah, you can bring
events?
wine out here to taste, and he has patio nights on Thursday, and he has music, food trucks.
Oh, wow.
So the bamboo is me. I love bamboo. I've got it all over my house.
Do you? I have a friend. I don't think he's watching right now, but he's crazy about bamboo. So
It can be a menace, but it's,
do you know what variety you're growing?
that's
over here?
golden bamboo, and then I have black bamboo.
Here?
Yes.
Or black?
Black bamboo is interspaced in there.
Oh, it grows in.
Yeah.
Now, will this go under the concrete wall?
Well, there's concrete out there in that alley, so it hadn't come across yet.
It hasn't got any place to go.
No. Here, I'm gonna,
I'm definitely going to have bamboo wherever I am. I just have to find a way to.
well, the cool thing about bamboo,
What's that? Oh, that's pretty.
the leaves and stuff. He cleans all this up. He has his kids.
It's
So.
beautiful. I love it here, Kim.
And my wife went to Argentina, and she had these gates designed from some gates that she saw down there.
They're beautiful.
So, but in the summertime, if everything was the same, it would be. This thing's filled up.
This is very substantial.
Yeah, let's open that up so you can see down that.
Oh yeah. Oh,
We have a lot of metal art.
So this is just the entranceway to the courtyard.
Yes.
Oh look.
And we have a lot of trash.
Do you happen
that
to know
blows
the
up
artist's
in here.
name of these insects?
Real good friend of mine, Hippie Larry.
Hippie Larry?
Yeah, he died, dadgummit, but he did a lot of stuff with junk.
My mother was into that, but not on this scale. But the grasshopper is probably, do you have a problem with grasshoppers in the vineyard?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
we have very little insect pressure and
wanted to
disease
ask
pressure. That's what, you say, are you organic? Pretty much you can, because it's so dry and the humidity, so you don't have a lot of pressure from
Bacteria.
mildew and mold and stuff
Fungal.
unless, a hurricane comes up here, which it has. If it hits the Gulf just right, it'll come up here. I mean, in 1983, we got 7 inches of rain at harvest, and it wasn't pretty. So, anyway.
But in general,
It's bone dry. You get very low, 20%, 10% humidity. Watch that cactus behind you.
Okay.
It'll get you.
Does that account for the lack of pests also?
Yes.
Move that way a little bit so I can see your face.
Yeah,
Please.
that accounts for the not having a lot of insect problems.
Pests like moisture
Yeah.
or more moisture.
Moisture.
Oh, wow. I just thought when the grasshoppers came through, they just ate everything.
No, we don't have that up here.
Oh, that's...
No. Now, down where in Tennessee and down in the hill country where there's humidity, that's a big problem for them. They have to spray a lot because you get a little afternoon shower. You
That
better
sits on
get
the
out there
grapes
and
all
spray it because it'll rot overnight, basically. Black rot or whatever, it's not good.
Ooh.
So they have a lot of pressure on that. Up here, we don't have that.
Well,
If we get a little old shower, I mean, it's dry. It's dry the next day or that afternoon.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Wow. Well, that's the high desert. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
we're a high desert. We get 16 inches of moisture a year.
that's not a lot,
No.
but that's enough to grow. What about irrigation?
Oh, it's all drip
Okay.
irrigated from the Ogallala Aquifer,
Oh, wow.
which is a great thing for us up here now because grapes take less water than cotton. And this is cotton country.
I know.
Over, 3 or 4 million acres of cotton.
Is this the largest cotton producer in the country?
Probably one of the largest cotton.
We can
But
go back that way so you're
it's-
not staring into the sun.
Yeah, it's, let me pick this up too. See what blows when the wind blows?
Oh, I noticed. I noticed the wind blowing.
So, anywho,
So you think wine might actually overtake cotton in terms of...
well, a lot of my growers have quit growing cotton and they've just let their land go back to CRP, and they can make more money on growing grapes.
So they're going to do grapes. You have to let it go back for a while and then...
Well, they just take up the cotton land and they'll grow grapes.
Oh, okay.
It takes, you can water 40 acres of grapes, but it takes 1 acre of cotton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
My mother was a cotton picker, a tenant farmer in Alabama.
See?
Yeah. Grew up very poor picking cotton. She would miss like 6 weeks of school in
to
the
pick
fall
cotton.
picking cotton.
Yeah.
It's really hard labor.
My granddad was from Germany, and he did that down here in the heart of the Blackland Divide, which is,
Right.
but he He was a cotton farmer.
Well, he was the farmer, so that's
Well,
different.
but he came over here. He grubbed out land with a grubbing hoe and
Oh,
picked
yeah.
cotton and.
Now it's all, I just saw these huge machines sitting
Oh
on
yeah,
here that's,
But see, the cotton we grow here is not like cotton for fine shirts and stuff.
What's
It's
it
blue jean cotton and
oh,
stuff like that.
yeah. Well,
But-
that's the majority.
But it takes a lot of water, and so these guys are finding out that, unless you do it dry land, and you
Can't
hit
afford
it
it.
big with the range, you can make a lot of money. But if you don't, you're spending a lot of money watering cotton.
Absolutely. So
It
is
was-
this aquifer everywhere around here?
It goes it goes up past Nebraska down to about Midland.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a huge aquifer. It's one of the largest in the world.
Wow. And
But we're depleting it.
yeah. What's the name of it?
The Ogallala
Okalala.
aquifer. Yeah.
Wow. Well, what we need to do is we need to buy our blue jeans at Goodwill.
Exactly.
We don't need to buy them new.
And-
I'm sure manufacturers don't want to hear me say that.
No. Well,
But there's no reason to buy
Levi's had a
new.
huge plant over here at one time in
There was a
Littlefield,
Levi's plant in my hometown too.
and they were taking all this cotton and making denim.
Yeah.
I don't know if that plant's still
We
there or
don't need
not.
to buy new denim. I mean, there's so much in
Oh.
the system.
In the system. That's right.
That's right. All right, take us back out to the front and let's taste something.
Let's taste some wines. I'm going to throw this away.
Okay. Here we come. I'm going to taste something. Hi, and this is, let's see, I was
Wash
just
your
introduced to
hands.
this dog, and I forgot the name already. Stella, I love that name. Stella! If anybody knows what that movie reference is. Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando. Stella.
Stella! Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. No, that was not Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. What am I
That
saying?
was Streetcar Named Desire.
Streetcar Named Desire.
Let's talk about our white wine. What do we have white?
White, yeah.
Let's have the Vineyard. Now, I won that saddle. She's like I won that saddle with a Rhone white blend.
You're gonna put it there, and then he's gonna give me one here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll
We'll
move
have a
this over
Vineyard
here.
first. Vineyard. In 1952, there was only 300 acres in the world.
Of what?
Vineyard.
I don't even know what that is. Viognier?
Viognier. It's the classic
Viognier.
white Rhone grape from northern Rhone,
I didn't know that.
parts of southern Rhone.
Wow. Wow.
And it's been brought back.
I'm going to switch places with you so
Okay.
they can see me trying this. Oh, here's the bottle. Can you see me on there? Oh, and you got these beautiful, I got to get one of these glasses. I'm going to have you send it to me. I don't want to get it broken. Hi, Stella smells other animals, including my cat, on my shoes.
Stella is a service dog. She's retired.
Oh, Stella, congratulations.
That was his service dog.
Oh, yours. Oh, wow. How old is she now?
She is 10.
10? Okay. When do they retire?
So
This is delicious, by the
for
way.
her service, she retires after just 8 years old. So she's enjoyed 2 years of retirement.
Bless her
Wow.
heart. She still wants to work.
Do you still want to work? Good girl. Good girl. That's delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we make the Viognier like they do in parts of Rhone with the chateaus. We put a little
Are you
Marsanne.
supposed to do that, Kim? Because I don't ever do that. Are you supposed to do that when you?
Well, that's how I do it.
You just keep it going?
Well, I mean, I judge in major competitions around the country.
Oh, and before someone sips in a competition, they have to do
Well,
that.
we swirl it and do. And, yeah. I'm very fortunate to get to judge in Texan, which is the hardest competition in the country.
Texan?
Texan.
Texan.
Two master somms bought it from the Dallas Morning News, and Becky Murphy, who had it.
What's a somm? Oh, sommelier.
Sommelier. And it's hard because there's only 3 winemakers that judge in it, and the rest of them are masters of wine or master somms, and I mean they can get tough on a wine.
I bet.
It's hard.
I could never do that because I don't know. And this is a screw cap.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Well, listen, Kim, thank you so much for, I hope this has been, it's been an education for me. I don't know if it has for other people. I hope it's
coming
helpful.
by. Thank your friend Linda.
Yes, I'm sorry.
She's one of our good friends here.
Yeah.
So
tell me about.
We finally got Linda to. I just want 7 cases. Well, you get 12 cases, Linda. I just want that. And then her husband will call, Kim, I need 10 more. I'm going, now Linda, whenever you get Sangiovese, you need to get a lot with your label on it because they use it a lot.
I bet. Well, they entertain. They've got a.
She's got a great looking little old label too.
Yeah, it's very simple, but
very simple,
classic.
very classic.
Yeah.
By the way, you're out of them.
And by the way, you're out of labels.
I talked to Spencer.
So tell me about, we're going to go and take a look at the vineyards. Tell me about, she was telling me that she needed to grow different biological
Cover crop.
Yeah, is that what she's actually, it just looks like grass to me.
Well, now Linda has a unique problem because she's in the city.
Yeah.
And everybody's got, the flower
Weeds.
beds and they've got bugs and they've got, that's her deal.
Yeah.
If I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, so to speak, my pressure's off more than her.
Right.
Because, her neighbor over here's got, this or that.
Right.
And so she has to keep an eye on her vineyard more than I do, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, do you have a cover crop in?
Yeah, it's weeds. But
It's weeds.
Well, you can look up here. See that middle? See how that is right there? That middle part?
Let's see if I can.
It's different weeds and stuff. They just keep it mowed.
Are you talking about over here?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, that's one of my big growers.
So those are just weeds in between the vines?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they'll eat up your
the
moisture.
whole middle. That's all cover crop.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Weeds and stuff. They can mow that. They'll go down there and mow that back every. Now you see, now this is one of my best growers. You see his vineyard? That's actually Tempranillo right there.
But I don't see much in the way of cover crop.
No, he does cover crop in the winter, but not in the summer. That's Tempranillo right here.
Which one?
Right here.
That?
No, this right here is,
The grapes?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. So anyway, when we go and look at her
Okay,
vineyard.
see, can you look at this up here real
Yes.
quick? They're hand picking Sangiovese from my dad's vineyard because these vines are so old you can't machine pick them. And this is what we make our reserve rosé out of, Sangiovese rosé. We only do like 200 cases, 180 cases.
Wow.
See how that's done? That's Viognier or pick pool. You ever had a pick pool?
I don't even know what that is. Is that a kind of wine?
It's a grape. It's an incredible grape from southern France and the Languedoc.
How do you spell it?
Well, there's a few ways. It's usually P-I-Q-U-E, pick pool, P-O-U-L. There's different ways of spelling it.
Pick pool.
We don't have any?
You want to open them?
Yeah, because I don't want her to try pick pool.
Here's the way you can just look at the label and look at culture.
And if I bought a pick pool from France, it would be in that kind of bottle.
It looks French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All your pick pool producers there's about 7 or 8 chateaus and they make a pick pool and it's in that bottle, that color bottle too. So I'm very traditional like that.
Wow.
I don't like to put, Viogniers always in a burgundy bottle. I don't want to put it in a claret bottle like a cab. Don't do that. We do all ours traditional like.
And who did you say makes your bottles?
These are made
places.
in Mexico by Owens, Illinois. Big glass producer. Where's mine? This one's right here. This is a beautiful wine. This is a lovely grape for this area. Loves the heat, big producer. And in the second year that I made this wine, it was the grand champion white wine in San Francisco International.
Wow.
And I had buddies call, what are you doing? I said, oh, we're trying to make pig pool. I guess we did okay. I only have 2 acres. of
Okay.
this. And Andy Timmons planted it for me.
And tell me about your different varieties. Pig pool and Saint
We have Pig Pool, Viognier, Roussan, Marsanne, Chenin Blanc, and we do a little bit of Trebbiano every now and then.
Does that all come under San Genovese?
No, Sangiovese is the grape,
Oh,
the red grape.
the red grape.
The
And
famous grape of Tuscany and Brunello.
And the other varieties you just mentioned are all the whites?
White, those were white grapes.
Oh, okay.
Red grapes, Tempranillo, Mourvedre, Grenache, Syrah, Petit Syrah, and Carignan.
And can you talk a little bit about the Llano, what the Llano is and the high plains and just like the region?
The Llano Estacado?
Uh,
Well, this is what, you're on the AVA, the government AVA called Texas High Plains. There's 1 million acres in it.
Wow.
So on the label, you'll see Texas High Plains, and that's where it was grown up here. So, anyway, this is what most of these guys are growing are varieties now that work like that. You don't see a lot of Chardonnay going in. You won't see hardly any Sauvignon Blanc. They still grow Cab, but some of them grow Malbec. Some of them have tried Zinfandel. Zinfandel's California's grape, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. Let them have it, right?
But Pig Pool, there's only 2 or 3 producers in California with this. Tablas Creek, because that's owned by the Perrin family from Northern Rhone.
Aha.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Well, they must have the climate for it, right where the place is.
Actually, these vine cuttings came from there.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Well, let me try it.
Oh, they're
I'm gonna move
beautiful.
over here.
There's your glass here.
Yeah. You
Very
move over
nice.
that way.
I'm going to go this way.
Yeah, yeah. I can't, this is the only other one I'm testing, right? Because,
We're going to have a red.
oh, we are.
Well, why wouldn't we? We're going to
You
have
better get it ready because,
I think we're going to get.
Have you been to her kitchen? Have you eaten over there at the
Hanging out.
Linda's Cafe? You
Yes.
got to drink wine.
I know, we have been. And I thought I stopped.
She's been drinking the house wine,
Yes.
Oh,
our house wine.
oh, your house wine. Oh.
Your house wine too.
Linda
really
has done a great job over there, and sometimes
You have to come have dinner again.
she has her friends. She gets them drunk, I guess, and they go pick grapes. But she'll bring them over here, and
No secrets, this is live stream.
well, I don't know they have fun. I know that.
We always have
We have
fun.
coffee. We do it in the morning.
Morning and
Yeah, we have a lot of coffee.
and
Quiche.
her fruit's very pretty, and we just put it into ours because it's so small that I can't. So she
Right.
just gets this, and she gets the best of
The
our
quantity is so small.
Oh yeah, but she gets this, and it's okay.
Is this the,
Sangiovese.
yeah, because it
That's
tastes
not
like,
the reserve, though. Now the reserve's only from my dad's place, the West Block.
this is the reserve?
No,
No, this is the state.
every day. That's everyday Sangiovese.
Same thing you have? Okay.
Mm-hmm. This is a grape that made us famous.
It's so
now
smooth.
this is a Brunello.
You know how sometimes wines taste very bitter? Mm-hmm. I mean,
Because
I'm
this
not
is
an
100%
aficionado.
Sangiovese. In Brunello, it has to be 100% Sangiovese in Italy.
Okay.
But in Tuscany, you can have, they have Cabernet now you could add to it and this and that. So this is a Brunello, but it's like a Chianti style. It has a little more acid and
But Chianti's heavier, isn't it, than this?
not, Brunello would be a heavier Sangiovese if I was.
It's delicious. I better not. I don't usually drink wine in the middle of the day.
Now we've sent this to Italy twice
That's delicious. You
for
have?
the Sangiovese Symposium.
And what happened?
Well, they were just amazed that we were growing in
Wow.
Sangiovese in Texas, but
Yeah.
My dad was the first guy to plant it in 1984, 83.
Don't you think that Linda should start? I haven't been to the ranch. Has he been to your ranch?
Yeah.
Kim's been
Could she have a much bigger operation at her? No.
No.
too many
Okay.
wild elements.
Yeah, that was the. Now you want grasshoppers?
Oh.
Raccoons,
Raccoons,
grasshoppers,
coyotes, rabbits,
armadillos.
armadillos.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it was a country club. She planted a country club down there, and all the guys they came out and they go, "Hey, look!"
What do you mean you
Well, it was just like
I tried to make it out there, and
you had to have a fence this high. You had to have rabbit control.
Well, see, that's what I'm going to have in Tennessee just to grow a garden. I'm not even thinking about grapes.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I don't think I have the sun and the
gonna-
heat for grapes. You got to have sun and heat for grapes, right?
Yeah,
And I
but
don't
yeah,
think
you're
it-
growing a garden. Yeah,
I want to.
She'll have a deer fence. She'll,
I know, it's got to be like 7 feet tall. Electrified. Oh, yeah, it's going to be challenging.
but you know, Napa.
Maybe I should
on
just
the-
bail on the Tennessee idea and stay in Lubbock.
yeah, sure.
You know, in Napa, on the east side of Napa, not the Mayacamas, but the east side, they have a huge deer problem. And when I was at Trefethen, there was a vineyard up there, and the guy had just planted it. And it was over a year old, and one of the guys left the gate open, and 50 acres were gone, and just about overnight with a deer.
I guess he got fired.
Oh, I don't know. He's one of the owners.
Oh, gosh.
And it was like,
I guess that's-
and I never knew. I mean, we went up there. I was like, golly, it was just like, they sat there overnight and they called all their friends up and said, hey, we got.
They were texting like mad.
Yeah, it was.
Come feast.
Oh, yeah, you had to have the deer fence up there.
Yeah, that's the problem is so much in the country is we've killed off their predators. And so, you know, so many people moved in so many wild areas
Yep.
and so they didn't want predators eating their babies or whatever, or their pets. And so they've
Right.
been killed off and then the deer just proliferate.
So that was a problem on the east side, and so you have to have a deer fence over there. Chapelet's on that side, if you know the Chapelet vineyards.
I don't, but
It's old.
why is your ranch? Why is her ranch
Well, now
more
she's off the
prone?
Cap Rock.
the what?
We're up here this 3,500 feet high. You go to her ranch and you drop way off,
Oh, I see.
and down there you have a lot of disease pressure.
I see.
You've got cotton root rot, you've got bugs, you've got grasshoppers, you come up here and it's clean air.
Oh, wow.
Pretty down there,
Yeah,
very pretty,
yeah.
but it doesn't like grapes.
There's a reason why you don't grow grapes.
No,
Wow.
no.
Well, Kim, we have been on such a long time. Thank you
Well,
so
no.
much for hosting us.
Well, thank
and
you.
I hope the people that tune in, have tuned in and do tune in, enjoy it. This has been an education for me. And I feel so welcome.
Probably been an education for a lot of people.
I just feel so welcome in the high plains of Texas.
Well, thank you.
And it's great to meet you, and I hope I see you again.
Well, I do too. I come back. I know where Linda is, and so there's a mesquite tree right here if you want to see it.
Somebody told me to get a piece of mesquite to bring to them so they could cook me a steak with mesquite.
Well, you'll have to get dried mesquite.
Oh.
I planted these.
We can get that on the.
I planted
Okay.
these, and my mother said, your granddad's rolling in his grave because that's what he grubbed out.
Oh, that's mesquite, that tree?
Yeah, we never water them.
You don't have to.
They're established now.
Well, you gotta confine too. It's not gonna
Yeah,
spread.
no.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Kay.
Of course.
And thank you, Kim.
Salud.
Salud. Thank you. Let's see. I'm going to turn this around.
Has she been to the
no,
Nicolette?
I'm going to turn this around, meaning you go that way.
No,
Has she been
No,
to the
no,
Nicolette?
I'm on. I'm on.
you're on.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Meaning
I
I'm
need to
gonna
get
turn
out
this-
of your way.
Well, that's okay. Thank you so much for tuning in to this live stream from Lubbock, Texas, day 2. We have so much more to bring you from Lubbock because my friend has lived here most of her life and knows everyone and says, we're going to do this. Today it was a live stream at 9. We didn't get here till 10. We were going to do, what were we going to do at 12? We missed that, right? Yoga at 12. We were going to do something. I have a facial at 2.
Yes.
And then,
We're gonna make that.
So I'm having a great time. I'm fine. My cat is fine. Thank you so much for staying with me on this cross-country adventure. I hope this is interesting to you. And if so, please give a like to the live stream as you sign out, and be sure and stay tuned to my channel. Go to the bell for notifications, scroll down and hit all. We're going to be doing so much more before I even leave here. I don't even know when I'm leaving here. I may stay. No, I can't do that. But I may stay for a while. Anyway, I don't know yet, but please, everybody, just stay tuned to my channel, and thank you so much for your support. And I will check out all the comments when I get back to my computer. Thanks so much. God bless. Bye.